gets berated on the podcast we've created. To commemorate action flicks, big horror, no tricks. John Travolta, Chuck Norris, insane clown posse, no fuss, no mercy, we discuss. Everything gets berated, no one is underrated. From the screen to the stage, except a new cage. No mercy, we engage.
Welcome to Berated, or everything gets berated.
Berated, everybody gets berated.
Everything gets berated.
Everything.
I'm Amferny.
And I want to be, it's your boy, Brian with a B. Dude, I mean, that just sounds so funny. But then they'll be like, no, it doesn't. I'm saying, like, next episode, next time we record, I'm going to be serious. Be like, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Brian with a B. And they'll be like, go back to talking normal, please. You know? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, all right?
Yeah, you know.
We got to give it a chance. You got to give it a chance.
You do. So today, everything gets berated, including poofy ball gown fantasy horror.
Dude.
That is a pseudo sequel to something we've already seen.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember.
Well, I don't know.
Cinderella's Curse.
Oh, yeah. Cinderella's Curse. I know. I was trying to get my younger sisters to be on this episode with me, but I don't know. I think they're too busy probably being nerds or something. I was like, dude, there's a scary movie about all the princesses. And they're just like, oh, I'm afraid that I might poo my pants. And I was like, all right, don't worry about it then.
I mean, it's, yeah. So let me get my IMDb's up real quick.
So tonight's episode that we're talking about.
Yeah, like, how would you describe this movie?
Well, you didn't even tell them what the movie was.
Oh, yeah, it's Fairest of Them All. This is directed by Kuhnahan Thampi. I probably butchered that. Starring Danielle Ronald, as Snow White, Kelly Rian Sanson as Cinderella, and she was Cinderella in Cinderella's Curse. Katie Kennedy as Tinkerbell, Danielle Scott as Sleeping Beauty. I think she was in Mary Had a Little Lamb and one of the Winnie the Poohs, or both. Cherry Fox as Ariel / Georgia. And Natasha Tosini as Belle.
There it
and Louis Santer as the Mad Hatter. He was Tigger in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, and Mickey Mouse in Mouse of Horrors.
Yeah, both great movies.
Great roles.
Great characters.
Yeah.
Yes. So, basically, this movie, there was this dude who wanted chicks that was like way out of his league. And so he killed all of their loved ones, then wanted them to compete for his love. I mean, like, that doesn't really work that way. But anyways, he thought it would be a good idea. And then he had them, he had to go down on some old ass evil witch, which probably had 400-year-old wolf pussy. And then he died. Right. And then there was a woman who claimed squatters' rights to his mansion after, of course, all their cycles synced up and they became besties.
That's pretty accurate. This movie, before we jump into everything, we'll probably get into a lot of this deeper, but like, you see a departure in Natasha Tosini from the like hypersexualized role. Like, she was the bikini girl in the hot tub in Winnie the Pooh, and she's the the OnlyFans type girl, or doing OnlyFans content in the other horror movie we watched, the Peter Pan one.
Yep. Where she died in the sauna.
This one, when she dies in the sauna, yeah. In this one, she plays a little more serious role. It's not as sexualized, which she does a really good job. And the other character is like Louis Santer. He was Mickey Mouse, as previously mentioned. He was Tigger. He didn't have lines. in this movie, he has a lot of lines, and he is still like this. He fully embodies this character.
Yeah, he freaking
It's amazing.
went ham.
He did it. He I think I mentioned it on his Instagram post about the movie. It's like he plays the bad guy to the hilt. Like he really sells it.
Yeah, it was jacked up.
He's good.
It was jacktified. But it opens up with this chained up girl. And like just from like right off the bat, I was like, dude, this motherfucker's name is Rumpelstiltskin. But then, but then because he was asking her like riddles, and I was like, his name's Rumpelstiltskin. Like I yelled it in my house. I was like, oh wait, they can't hear me,
Yeah.
And so then like he cuts her face, and she uses she has to sign an index card, and she uses her blood.
But yeah,
I was like, why don't you just use a pen? Why don't you use a pen? Don't use blood to sign an index card. That's weird.
I know. And it's just gross and unhygienic.
Right? First, like, hey, Steve, can I have your autograph? He's like, yeah, hold on. And he just bites his finger, and then he just signs it. Like, you know what? Okay, I guess.
I didn't really need it, I guess.
Dude. Yeah. But yeah, it started off really strong. Like you didn't know what was going on. And then finally, like all of a sudden there's all these like cakes and pies out on like this big ass long like dining room table.
Yeah.
Do you refrigerate your desserts?
I do.
All right. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
What about, like even like cakes? Like, I don't know. There's some things that are just, they should be meant to be cold, like, I mean, don't get me warm. Like a warm piece of apple pie is all right,
Yeah, but you should may probably refrigerate it, then heat it up, right?
Either that or even just a freaking cold freaking piece of apple pie. It's all right, dude.
That's all right, yeah.
I had like one of my friends, and every time I go to his house, like for dinner, there'd be like scrambled eggs and like bacon and sausage like on the counter. I was like, did you guys have breakfast for dinner? They're like, no, that's from breakfast. And I was like, literally 2 inches away is a fridge. You can put it in there.
Put it away.
What about milk? Or not milk. Ketchup. You refrigerate your ketchup?
Yeah.
Good job. I'm proud of you, Anthony.
I mean, we have a very busy refrigerator.
Dude, I don't care. People that don't. What about syrup? You refrigerate your syrup?
No.
All right. End it. No, refrigerate your syrup. Dude, refrigerate your syrup. Damn it. Like we don't refrigerate our soy sauce.
We do.
But people, all right. I was about to say people refrigerate their soy sauce for some reason, But like she got a riddle wrong, and he like throws hot tea in her face.
Yeah.
And then you see like the placements for everybody at the table. And at that point, I didn't know who half of these people were.
Okay, that's kind of one of the issues with this movie is it has great characters. It's just outside of the fairy godmother. Who else? Cinderella and maybe the Mad Hatter, because he's kind of easily recognizable.
Yeah.
Like outside of them,
Ariel,
it takes a little bit. Like her, maybe, yeah. Like outside of them, like it takes a little bit to get used to some of these characters, and maybe a little more time and backstory would have been better.
Yeah, I think I mentioned some of that. Like, I think I remember stuff going on later on in the movie, but like I have 2 younger sisters, and so like I've watched all the Disney princess movies, and then on top of that, I have nieces, so I've watched some of the newer, like Moana. I think that's the newest one.
Oh yeah, that's one of the newer ones.
I never saw Frozen. I think I've seen a lot of Frozen, but I've never seen any parts of Frozen 2, But based off of their dresses, you could tell who a bunch of these women's characters were.
Yeah.
But then there's that lady. There's a lady sleeping, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't a lady sleeping in the shot. Like it might have been a man stunt double. And you're like, why'd they do that? Damn. And then,
which, I mean, we meet all these people as the Mad Hatter is like killing their families and abducting them.
Yeah.
or some of them we get the backstory later, but it's all sort of the same, like setup and finish.
Yeah. He starts
Goes
talking
in, he
about it.
kills them. Yeah.
But they're also kind of weird because, like, I was pretty sure, and then it was confirmed, like, Ariel was just in a bathtub being fed blood, like, really beastly.
Yeah.
You're like,
By
I don't
the
think.
prince, right? That's the prince from the
Yeah.
story.
But then you think that you're just like, nope, that wasn't Ariel, because then she had legs and now she was stabbed in the neck. So I don't think that was Ariel. That was in the
And
bathtub
she
at
has
first.
this serving fork. Was it in her hair?
See, and that's the thing where it's like, because that's the fork that she used in the cartoon.
Yeah.
It's like, what's that song go? I don't know. But, you know, it's like, how do you say it? Fork or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So they keep going and they start introducing people. And like Cinderella clearly has had a rough couple of years since the ball. And then she gets like body snatched and a fat rip of Coke is blown in her face.
Yeah, he does this a lot. He does like this mist blow in people's faces.
Like he's LeBron.
Like he's
LeBron's James.
I was gonna say like a Japanese wrestler, you know, with the green mist, but like
biggest flopper.
But yeah, like they kind of continue that story a little bit because you see the fairy godmother, like they confirm she still has the curse at this point, and that becomes what the rest of this movie is like bookended about, is Cinderella and her curse, more or less.
Yeah. And then that's where we finally meet Natasha. So
Yes.
Natasha finally shows up, and then all of these women, they're at the table, and the Mad Hatter dude, he finally tells them, hey, guess what? I killed all the ones that you have loved.
Yeah.
And he still doesn't know the answer to the riddle, though.
No.
Yeah. He's like, what's going on? And they're like, we don't know. And he's all like, okay, well, if you don't know this, and he gets all pissed off. He's like, why don't you guys know the answer to these riddles? And you're just like, maybe it's a dumb riddle.
Wait, and this is the point where he tells, which some of these riddles, like I'm bad at riddles, so I don't know, but
sometimes,
this is where he tells them, you will we're gonna do a tea party fight thing where you will compete to be my wife, and then whoever wins, I'm just gonna murder Alice because she's not the right one. Like, and says it in front of her.
Yeah, he says
he's crazy.
Yeah, he's like, y'all need to kill each other, and then the winner gets to be my bride. You're just like, is that a prize?
I don't feel like that's a prize.
You know what I'm saying? And then I don't remember.
Feel like, oh, this is also where he's like, he says he took, this is the Red Queen's castle that he took over because he got the powers from a witch to, what is it? And he murders everybody in the castle except for Boris and Norris, the guards who he just puts to sleep, who I'm pretty sure is supposed to be Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Oh, maybe. Because I had no idea who the crazy looking lady was supposed to be.
Oh, what, the one with the matted hair?
Yeah, the one that was
Sleeping Beauty. Which I thought that was a nice touch. She's got bedhead.
I had no idea who it was. And then I just remember Tinkerbell said that she only did those shows and videos for money for therapy. Did Tinkerbell show her butthole on the line? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think so.
Well, she said she only did those shows for money for therapy. Why do you need therapy? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So then it said that Peter said
never really loved her.
Well, Peter did say he wanted to be with Tinkerbell. So how would that physically work, though? She was a fairy, but anyways,
in this movie, she is a full-sized woman. She's not a tiny little pixie dust powered.
Doesn't matter anyways, because guess what? Peter's dead.
Well, yeah. Oh, because she does a line of pixie dust that is laced. And then he murders Peter right in front of her.
Yeah. Like, I used to have these acquaintances when I was younger, and they 100% always thought if there was a guy and that guy had like a hot chick with him, if they go over there and beat that dude's ass, the girl will instantly fall in love with them and they'd be able to take that girl home.
Because life is an 80s movie.
And I'm like, I don't think it works that way, bro. I was like, what will happen? Either two things will happen. One, you'll beat that dude's ass and then he's going to get laid because the girl's going to feel bad that he got his ass whooped that night.
Yeah.
Or two, you're going to do that man a favor and take that hoe away from him, because any girl who's like, oh, you just got beat up. All right. Sucks to be you. And then beef stews him and leaves. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I had in high school, these people thought that. And then I was hanging out with a different group of people when we were 21. We're at bars and there's like, oh, let's go beat that guy, take his girl. It's like, that's not how it works, man.
Yeah.
You know?
What are you doing?
Like if your wife was like, Anthony, I'm only going to be with you until you lose a fight, I'd be like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't be together.
Because apparently married Fight Club. Yeah.
Don't you ever lose. This is a house of winners. Do you hear me? Not losers.
Cobra Kai marriage.
Dude, yeah, that's what is the prenup. So right here, the prenup, it says, if I lose a fight, she gets half. But, you know, if either one of us just commit adultery, then no, we just leave on our own good terms.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that makes clear sense. We should be divorce lawyers. Like, so it has nothing to do with them having their own Tinder and Grindr accounts. No, it's because he got beat up.
Yeah.
Yep. No.
That's pretty much it right there.
So then they were trying to leave, remember? Because then there was those windows that were already broken. And I think, I can't remember which one of them, I think it was Belle. She started throwing rocks through the windows that were already broken. And you're like, they're already broke. You don't need to throw rocks through them. You know? Oh, yeah. Natasha was Belle.
Yes.
And she can transform.
Which, I mean, they turn the whole beast thing now into like a werewolf situation.
Well, so if you think about it,
like she has the powers too.
Did she bang the beast while he was a beast? And so it gave her like powers like a vampire?
Maybe. I mean, 'cause she has like that, werewolf sort of like transformation, and like the face turns all beastly. Like she gets these high arched forehead pieces.
But if you think back about Beauty and the Beast, she was going to kiss that beast, not knowing that he'd turn back into a prince. So you're really getting ready to go down that road of bestiality? You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
I mean, I love my dog, but I'm not going to be like, just in case, like that's kind of weird. And so it's one of those things where like, how did she get to turn on and off beast mode like a vampire turned into a bat?
Which there's a few girls that have like different stuff. Like she has that, and then Cinderella can use her curse to gain powers. Ariel has her like supersonic scream.
Even though she was supposed to have a beautiful voice.
Yeah, but it's like this haunting singing voice that turns into a supersonic scream. And then Snow White is a cannibal.
Yeah.
Which that one is one of the more disturbing ones.
Well, it's funny because then she had that flashback and she has like the shittiest bed for her queen. Like I'm pretty sure it was probably a twin size bed. It was like the smallest I've ever seen in my life, man. And the Mad Hatter just throws a head at her and then she just goes full on Thriller. And she just starts dancing in front of like, what the hell? Because
everybody sort of has that same transformation where all of a sudden you hear like the bones cracking and the weird arching movements.
It was so messed up. And all of them started doing all this weird shit too, because then who was a crazy lady again? Sleeping Beauty.
Starts off, who is my favorite of all of them because she is ruthless. She's a killer.
She's a freak in the streets and a freak in the sheets.
She is a freak all week.
Yeah, dude. She went crazy. She started off so strong against like Tinker, bashing her head into the wall. And then she sort
of like every fight, which the first fight kind of starts like the person who really, really wants to murder somebody versus the person who doesn't want to fight at all.
Yeah, she gets cat scratched to death. You know how bad that probably hurt?
Good God, that one was brutal.
Yeah. And
like they just had, and she didn't even use the weapons that were like in the circle. She just started scratching the shit out of her.
Yeah. She's like, watch this. And she just started going ham, dude. Again, if she had dirty fingernails, she's probably going to die of an infection.
Yeah.
An infection or loss of, well, I think that you'd probably die of pain. You know, like you wouldn't bleed to death with like a paper cut, right? But if somebody gave you,
probably not.
If somebody gave you 4 billion paper cuts within 3 minutes, you would die of pain. Your body couldn't hang with all that pain. It'd be like, ugh, I gotta go. And then you'd go into the celestial kingdom or terrestrial or, purgatory. Who knows where you're going to go? If you deserve to get 4,000 or 4 million paper cuts all at the same time.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah. Then Snow White has her flashback. Yeah. And she uses like a malice and chain to hit the Hatter with.
Oh, yeah.
Like all these chicks are just ruthless, dude. Like, what the hell, man? You guys are supposed to be princesses and you guys are all like, some of them, I think there's like 1 or 2 of them that were like, we don't want to do it. We don't want to do it. But all the other ones were like, you know what? I'm fair game.
Yeah. Which I think
one of them,
they wanted to do it to survive because this is the feeling I got. They didn't want to really be his bride.
Most of them. I think the crazy lady wanted to be the bride.
I mean, maybe.
I think everybody else is like, dude, I'm going to fight so I don't die. But the other one's like, oh, no, man, he's all mine, girls. I'd say, then how come you just don't go with him and then let us all leave?
How about you you can just marry Sleeping Beauty and then we're good. We can leave.
Yeah.
We don't have to die.
Because then Belle and Snow White are all up next. And like Natasha, you see that she's just so excited to fight. Like, you know that you're going to have to murder somebody, right? With your bare hands or a weapon, but still counts as your bare hand.
And they go into the room where the murder happened, and then he tells Alice to clean it up. And then he like snaps his fingers and they're in a different room with his magic that he got.
Yeah. Like he took apparently all of them have just the different magic things they can do.
This is lit up John Wick room.
Yeah, Natasha turns into beast mode for her fight. And then Belle eats spinach and gets all buff and feeds Natasha an apple. And then she bites her in the neck like a vampire. You're like, I didn't know we were doing prison rules.
Snow White just starts eating her, which was like super disturbing.
Yeah, like I was really rooting that Natasha was going to win all the fights. She's like 4'5". She can win a bunch of fights, I bet.
Would have been interesting.
Yeah. And Alice wants to escape and she tells Cinderella her plan, but then she might know somebody who can help with her curse.
She's referring to the fairy godmother, which she kind of at some point they make a deal where if she takes out the Mad Hatter, that she gets the curse lifted.
I don't know if that would work. You know what I'm saying? And then another thing too, where'd all these princesses come from? Like just different states?
Yeah, like he literally went to their home.
Sleeping Beauty
castle.
clearly is from Alabama. Where are they all from? Where are they all from?
Yeah. I think we're just supposed to believe that all of these fairy tales exist in the same universe.
Yeah. And then who was it? Did Cinderella? I think she went into his bedroom or somebody went into his. She sees him in a reflection and then she starts screaming. But then she goes into his room and he was having a hand party with his pants off.
Oh, yeah.
Is that normal? Like you just. If you had to hey, I got to hurry and rub one out, do you get full naked? Or,
I mean, not
over the top?
He's very aggressive about it.
Lights a candle. He gets in the mood. Pulls out a nipple clamp.
Like as she's leaving, we hear him audibly release. Like he's loud.
Yeah, and then he goes to her room and punches her right in her ovaries because he knows something's up.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, how about another paralyzer? And he punches her right in the ovaries, dude. You know? And then after, man, just so much goes on where it's like, I don't understand. How come you guys don't want to marry me? Like, because you're making all of us kill everybody?
I mean, have you met you?
Yeah. And Cinderella, for some reason, is like afraid of her powers and just keeps seeing a cooler version of herself in the mirrors. And you're just like
these like lines on her forehead.
Like that could be you.
Darkness is like coming out or whatever.
Yeah. That could be you in the mirror. Just stop being a weirdo. Right?
Yeah.
And then what the hell else? I think Ariel, wasn't her real name like Georgia or something like that?
Georgia. They say Georgia.
And then she needs blood and has that form like from the carton. And then she stabs herself. Like, does she have blood in a carton?
I think.
I don't remember.
I know she at some point she asks for blood, which she gets from another person, and then another point she stabs herself to get blood.
Oh,
so
yeah, she stabbed herself.
Yeah,
yeah, she stabs herself and starts drinking her own blood, and you're just like, I don't think that would work, would it?
Yeah, I feel like that would defeat the purpose.
I don't think it would work. You know, it's not like it's an infinite loop. You know, you're like, oh, my left side of my body, I'm having a heart attack. And then you just hook up your blood transfusion from your right arm to your left arm. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's still,
no, that doesn't work.
Taking it a longer time to get through your body, you asshole.
You have not increased volume.
You're just like, I know this is going to work. You know, I've seen it on TV. I heard them talk about it on a podcast once. You know, that's not how it works. You know,
yeah,
gross.
That's really not how that works.
But I think Ariel, what a skank! I think that she screams and then narcs him out for trying to escape
because they try to escape because Alice doesn't trust her, so she doesn't want to escape with her. So it's Alice and Cinderella running through the forest.
They did escape. They did do a good job, but then that girl told on them, and you're just like,
but not.
You just told on because they didn't freaking come get you.
Her. Yeah,
because you're a weirdo.
But she doesn't narc them out until she gets blood, which then he brings her a dead body.
Gross.
To feed off of.
That's probably not good.
Yeah.
You know, you shouldn't like a dead lobster. You know?
I mean, yeah.
You should have a live lobster and then cook it.
Yeah.
You know? So like you can't just put a dead body in the fridge and be like, all right, here you go. I put it in the microwave for a little bit. You know, I warm it up to 98.6 degrees, just how you like it.
I mean, maybe Ed Gein can, but
and then everybody's vampires because everybody just starts fucking eating and drinking everybody's blood for no reason.
And this is like during that escape we lose. I forget who it is because I can't tell the difference between them. We lose either Boris or Norris.
I don't know.
Only one of them is left.
Yeah, Cinderella goes full Wolverine and then kills that dude. And then she just goes over and says, "I scared him off." No, you didn't. You murdered him. There's a gigantic difference between I scared him off and I murdered him. You know?
Yeah, but you know, I mean,
you scared him off of this earth.
Of this earth.
You scared him out of
where he was scared from.
You scared him out of his mortal body. I agree.
You have to clarify that.
You know? And then let's see. They're still out there, right? And then the Hatter finds them by the rabbit hole and punches Alice in the eye to death.
To death, which that was hard to watch. He is an evil, terrible man.
He is, but you know, if you got punched in the eye to death, that sucks.
Man, like he is rough. So then we're down to, then the next morning, Cinderella wakes up in some like graffiti filled crack house with Ariel.
Yeah.
Ready to fight.
Yeah, Ariel's all about it. She said that she's going to break every bone in her body and then drink her blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what you should tell somebody, like, good morning, babe. Just so you know, I'm going to break every bone in your body and drink your blood.
Which, this is one of my favorite fights. It has like multiple escalations to it. It has like a presentation. It's really cool.
Yeah, but then they had her just stab Snow White in the hand.
For no reason.
Like,
he's mad.
Just to prove that it hurts?
Yeah.
You could have just asked me, hey, will it hurt if I stab you in the hand? Yes, it would. You know, he reminded me of like on Blades of Glory with Napoleon Dynamite and Will Ferrell.
Oh, yeah.
With, I can't remember his name. The other comedian who was like their stalker. And he's like, I'm going to murder you and wear your skin one day. I love you. And leaves.
Oh, Nick Swartz and
yes.
Howie.
I'm going to wear your skin one day. He's like, what did you say? Nothing. I love you. Goodbye. You know?
I mean, he did tell them how to, even though you are banned from singles, you can do doubles.
Mm-hmm.
He was helpful.
He did, man. Chad Michaels owes him everything.
Is figure skating.
Like, I saw this thing the other day where it's like there's two wolves inside of you. One is gay and the other one is gay. You're gay. And you're like, what? Hold on a sec. And I said, why are there wolves? You know, he's like the bad boy of skating. You're like, that. Such a great role, man.
Are you an official here? Because you've officially given me a boner. I'm sorry. That's my sex disease talking.
So then Cinderella just goes ham on her with that axe. And
before we get there, they were doing ball gown MMA. Like she goes or does the hooks with her legs, flips her.
Yeah.
Before they run into another room, which I was like, okay, ball gown MMA. That was pretty cool.
That's how you do it. And then, like, because, excuse me, Cinderella does that, clearly the Mad Hatter blasted in his pants.
Which, I mean, watching her with that axe, that was brutal. Because she goes like home run derby on Ariel.
Yeah, she freaking wasn't playing around.
No.
But then that Cinderella and Snow White fight, right? And
Cinderella, Snow White, and then Sleeping Beauty shows up.
And then kicks Cinderella right in the face.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a one-on-one fight. Like, I didn't know that we were doing this.
We get a triple threat match.
Yeah. And so then, on top of that, there's like, you know what, you crazy-ass lady? The crazy lady gets tag-teamed against and then finally killed. And you're like, oh, I thought that you would have made it. I thought you were the last dragon.
I would have liked to see that.
That would have been the Joker and freaking Harley Quinn.
Yeah. That would have been that's like
crazy
the super
ass
team.
Yeah. And then what? Snow White tried to be all sneaky, and she turns again against Cinderella, and then she gets murked by that giant ass axe.
Yeah, which she does
what?
Like she does that axe killing again, which the shot they do on that, like from the low shot, and you just see her wailing away. It's brutal.
Yeah, well, it's a gigantic axe. It was Paul Bunyan's axe that somehow they found. And they're like, oh, guess what? This is going to be the one that murders you.
It's after he was shot into the lake. They retrieved his axe.
Dude, it was hilarious. God, and then it goes back to that one scene where the Hatter's going down on his fairy godmother, and then he begs Cinderella for her to save him, and then guess what? Womp womp.
Then he gets killed with the axe. Like one good stroke to the head.
I mean, he was probably happy. Like, did you ever see, what was that movie? Bowling Pin? What?
Oh, Kingpin?
Kingpin.
The Woody Harrelson one?
Yeah. You don't know what I'm going to say next?
I don't think I've watched that in forever. I don't remember it.
Okay, so I'm glad it didn't haunt you for the rest of your life. There's that scene where they're at the hotel and that old woman's like, you got room for lunch or something? And like lifted her leg up and like spread her legs. And it was like the varicose vein thighs. Ew. And she's like, come get some seconds or something. You're just like, good God.
I don't even want firsts.
Dude. And she was like, well, PlayStation 5 is coming out. You know, you got to do what you got to do, man, to secure the bag.
I get it. You got to get the bag.
You know, but there's sometimes you don't, you know, but
yeah.
How far are you willing to go is the question, you know?
Got to ask yourself.
If you had one chance. No.
Dude. No,
but what I didn't understand is why was everybody hating on Cinderella?
Which I kind of feel like it was just that conflict between her and the fairy godmother, because this is that point where she gets her curse lifted, and then the fairy godmother double crosses her because now if you have no curse, you have no powers. So then she's going to have all these zombie princesses that we just saw go kill her.
Yeah.
But then Sleeping Beauty can't do it.
Yeah, it turns out that she's the fairest of them all. And then they just start listening to her, and she's like, oh, go kill the fairy godmother.
Yeah.
And, you know, but I still don't understand why they're all hating on Cinderella. You know?
I mean, maybe it's more like a jealousy thing, like she won.
I don't know. They all seem like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's always those haters, dude. Like, you know, Elon Musk doesn't like Jeff Bezos. Why? I mean, they probably like each other. They're perfectly fine. They don't like Zuckerberg. Why?
I mean, maybe it's just like it's like a, what is it? Like a competitive rivalry.
But it's, who cares? Do you have billions of dollars? Yes. Do I have $1 billion? Yes. Does that person have $1 billion? Yes. Do you guys live in the same neighborhood? No. Do you see each other every day? No. So who gives a shit?
Yeah. No, that's fair.
You know, doesn't make any sense. But then as soon as they do go against the fairy godmother, then they all just go and get turned in the mansion.
Well, yeah. And then you get that like little one-liner that ends the movie. Like, who wants tea?
Like, oh, I do. I love tea. And you're like, how was your day?
I'm assuming she becomes the fairy godmother.
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
Or she takes over that role, more or less, I guess.
Maybe, you know, didn't think about that one, actually. You know, but, well, I don't know. So it's just, here's the thing, because they go back to the mansion and I'm just going to assume, live happily ever after, blah, blah, blah. What do you do with your old mansion and kingdom that you were in charge of? And then, since everybody else is dead, do you just turn into, what, Khaleesi? And now you just run the entire kingdoms?
I guess so. I mean, there's no Red Queen. There's no Mad Hatter. There's nobody to run the Red Queen's kingdom. And I guess, you know, for Cinderella, she's really got nothing to go back to because that's all been, you know.
Could you imagine if you're Cinderella's next boyfriend or husband, be like, how come you're still single? Well, you're never going to believe this, but there was this crazy dude. But then there's always going to be those guys like, I can fix her. She murdered 7 women.
Back to life.
I can fix her. I know I can. Nope,
I'll
she murdered a
start
bunch of people.
again at one.
I don't even know what Cinderella song to sing. You know?
But no, this was like, I really enjoyed it. I just wish that there had been more of a build up for some of the characters, because we get these fights between characters we haven't seen before, and like,
Yeah.
I just wonder, like, not in a callous way, but like, as the viewer, why is this supposed to be important to me?
Yeah, like there was you know, all of them have their own, like I don't think we got backstories on every single person.
We did, but they were all very quick, which, like, the one that was kind of disappointing to me is the Mad Hatter takes out the Beast.
Yeah, well,
he just
I mean, the
dispatches him so quick.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw the Beast beat up Gustavo and an entire town. Like
Gaston.
The Beast would have. Yeah,
He's the best at expectorating.
He does a bunch of push-ups. Dude, like I said, I've seen all these movies multiple times, you know,
Yeah.
but this movie runtime, it wasn't that long.
78 minutes. I mean, it's like, to me, it
But
felt
78
like
minutes, like it could have been, you know, it could have been longer
a little bit.
Yeah, like I said, like
put,
I don't,
you know, like some of these princes could have put up a little more of a fight, because at a certain point it felt like, you know, meet prince, kill prince, grab princess.
unless it was kind of like on My Name's Earl, where they just fake their own death to get out of that relationship. You know,
I mean, it depends on how bad the relationship is and or how scary the woman is.
well, freaking Sleeping Beauty. Like, you know what? When we met, you were beautiful in the woods, and now look at your hair. Do you know what conditioner is?
Well,
That's my
you can't
number
use
one
conditioner
go-to.
if you're asleep.
That's my number one go-to. And then it's all creepy. You're just like, when you were asleep, I conditioned your hair. I'd be like, all right, leave. Like, weird time. You know? Like those words,
This
like,
is over now.
you're so beautiful when you sleep. I'd be like, okay, well, we're done here.
We are. This is over now. Yeah.
Smell you later. And don't come within 50 yards of me.
Yeah.
See? But it was good.
Sorry, go ahead. Finish.
No, I was gonna say it was good. I like the concept, the storyline. You know, unfortunately, like, I think that it could have. You wanted more, you know, like you're saying, like the backstories and stuff like that. You know, like, I mean, like, as an adult, you can look back at it and be like, you know what, they all had their magical powers that happened and everything like that. And maybe that's why they have their magical powers and all that jazz. But
yeah,
the backstories of them actually being murdered, or their princes or kings or whoever being murdered. Where was Jasmine? Was Jasmine on there?
No.
Oh.
That would have been an interesting one. I mean, but then Aladdin has to die.
Bye, Aladdin. Quit stealing loaves of bread. You know, Moana. But then you have to fight the Rock. And you don't want to smell what he's cooking. Candy ass jabroni.
Yeah. Maui.
You know, Frozen. I'm trying to think of
You're
what
welcome.
other princesses. Brave. Why wasn't Brave in there? Brave would have murdered all of them. I've never seen that movie,
Merida?
but I've never seen that movie. I just know that she's good with a bow and arrow, and she'll probably murder you.
That would have been an interesting one too, like a bow and arrow fight.
That's Katniss Evergreen. You don't know her from District 12 or 11 or whatever she was from.
The only other thing I can think of is, like, if they ever tried to run this back and tried to, you know, do a story that's adjacent to this, I would really like to see the story of how the Mad Hatter took out the Red Queen. Even though you already know what happens, it would be a good, interesting story.
He probably got that opium pipe from the caterpillar and blew it in her face and then made her play dodgeball with severed Chinese men heads. Is that what they used to play dodgeball with? They'd go to the Chinese opium dens.
Yeah.
See? Shit gets real, bruh. But yeah, like I said, it was fun. It was really quick. Yeah, it wish there was a little bit more backstory, but it's solid, man.
I think the only thing that could have been like a better connective tissue for that beginning is if you have them show the Mad Hatter, doing everything he talked about.
Yeah, why was it Rumpelstiltskin in there? Rumpelstiltskin could have been his homie.
I mean, there are Rumpelstiltskin movies, but I think you would hate them. We could do those.
Surgery.
There is the Rumpelstiltskin musical. Then that one is
Spin golden wheels of yarn. Surgery. Yarn. What's my name? Rebel, rebel, rebel.
No, it is wonderful. Wonderfully terrible.
Yeah. And I see your... Oh, okay. I was
Billy
like,
Barty
they can't see your face, but the fact that you are laughing where you're saying, it was wonderful. Like if I was like, ew, this is so gross. Taste it. That's exactly what's going on.
That is exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wonderful because Billy Barty has painted on eyebrows and he looks insane.
Amazing.
And nobody can sing.
That sounds like us. So, all right, man. Well, freaking.
All right. Well, thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Indeed.